Hello everyone, this is Chris Glasser again with TaskForce 247 Airsoft, sponsored by Fox Airsoft. And I'm sorry to cut the last video so short. It's just I have a 10-minute time limit on which my device will actually allow me to upload to YouTube, so I had to cut it there. As I was saying, the higher-end AEGs have a lot of accessibility and upgradability to them. They have just a tremendous amount of options to put with them, as well as upgradability, durability, and overall performance. There are a few more things you do have to take in consideration when you do own an AEG, a higher-end AEG that is, with a metal gearbox. You do have to frequently maintenance it and clean the gun and service it as if it's a car. AEGs should never die on you as long as you service them correctly. There's always going to be a replacement part for something that wires out, and an AEG will last you your lifetime if you take care of it right. And also there are some better options as far as customizing it. Most standard AKs do not come with that type of grip on it. This is the ergonomic grip that is fit custom to my hand. And it does have a ribbed dust cover, which gives it a slightly more elegant look and more unique. And the two-tone body makes it pop out a little bit more, as well as the AK-74U iron sight and just some other added fluff that was thrown onto the gun. AEGs are definitely what you're looking for if you really want to customize a higher-end gun. Now, I do not own one currently, but there are also gas blowback rifles, and gas blowback rifles work under the same concept as gas blowback pistols. They have all the same options as far as upgrades and customization that a standard AEG does. But the one thing different is, of course, the gas. They do use green gas, which is a mixture of silicone oil lubricant and propane. And they can also run off of just basic camping propane for your little mini personal stoves. That is not recommended unless you do get unless you do know how to accurately mix in silicone with the propane so that your gun stays nice and lubed and oiled, or else your gun could get damaged and really, really messed up. So one of the perks of having a gas blowback is they normally do have a lot more reliability to them. They operate very similar to a real firearm, and they do pretty much clean themselves out while they're firing. That being said, you do have to, of course, clean the gun afterwards after a game, as you should with any gun you own. But the gas blowbacks do have a lot less to worry about in the scheme of why isn't my gun working. It's either A, B, or C. One of the biggest cons in gas blowbacks, which is why I currently do not own any, is that the gas in cold weather, especially being here in Colorado, the gas decompresses inside of the magazines, and instead of being able to get your full mag out, you get maybe half your mag out before the gas runs out, because the cold air doesn't let the gas expand properly, and it kind of just muddles up your shooting. That is also another reason why the automatic electric pistols are a great option for the winter. You can find out all about that in my review of the SEMA Glock 18. Now we're going to move on to something that is a touchy subject for airsofters, and that would be shotguns. Alright, so shotguns are normally referred to as the bane of airsoft. They are either really good or really bad, and this is a really bad one. This is about the cheapest one you can find. It's $18 at any sporting goods store or anywhere that sells any type of airsoft, such as Walmart or Big 5. This one does have an 18-round removable clip that is extremely hard to get in and out of the gun. And it is a pump action. So it works under the same constraints as a spring pistol. But it is a lot more practical than a spring pistol because a pump-action shotgun is a pump-action shotgun. This one, I'm not sure if you can tell, it has one singular barrel inside of it. So unfortunately it only shoots one BB at a time, and it takes a mid-cap spring-fed magazine like an AEG, but it is completely manually operated. And the one thing that did surprise me about such a cheap gun is that it did have adjustable hop-up right here. Its little switch, which did surprise me a lot. Shotguns are good for CQB or for a spare weapon, just in case. They do pack more punch and accuracy than a spring pistol. But we are going to move up the line and get to a more higher-end shotgun. This is the Benelli M1014, which is the real steel variant of this. But the Airsoft variant, it is the TSD M3. It does have a 5-position adjustable stock. Normally the most comfortable is on the second peg. And this one is a tri-shot gun. I'm not exactly sure if you can see the inner barrels, but it has 3 barrels lined up in a cone, like so, so that when you insert the shell, 3 BBs are taken out of the shell and lined up with the barrels, and 3 shots get fired at the exact same time. So these are the closest to actual shotguns that you can find. A lot of people wonder, how do the shells work? Here's how. Most of them have a flip-down switch right here that opens the chamber, and the shells are placed inside of the gun as if a normal shotgun. The shells hold 30 rounds each, so you have 10 shots out of each shell. Every time you pump it, 3 BBs are lined up in the chambers. And then when you pull, obviously 3 shots are fired. And you will have 10 shots with the shotgun until your magazine runs out, which is honestly more than enough to take out 1 or 2 people in a CQB environment. So once you finish that, you can just drop your shell. Sometimes you have to pull them out, sometimes they just fall straight out. And like I have the shell bandolier on the side of my rifle, on the side of my shotgun. Just slide it in there. They are a little tricky to get in. I can fit 5 on there and 1 inside of the rifle. And these are great because they don't take up any room in your dump bag, and they're very hard to break. And if they do break, they're very cheap to replace. It's about $10 for 6 shells. The only downside of the shotgun that I've actually found is that the stock gets a little bit of wobble into it, which isn't too bad. You just need a really odd Allen key to tighten it. You need a 9-inch long Allen key to actually slide it up the buffer tube and tighten it. I don't even know they made a 9-inch long Allen key. I still need to find one. So as long as you have that, or you know a shop nearby that can service that easy, it will most definitely always be a free fix. Fox Airsoft will take care of you very well for it. But these are definitely on the higher up scale, and they do get jobs done. They are on the cheaper scale too. They are about $50 to $60 for a good tri-shot pump-action shotgun. They are mostly made of ABS plastic, except for the barrels and the buffer tubes. Those are aluminum, and so are some of the inner workings. They are also aluminum. The FPS on this is about 320, which is very good for just a spring gun. Now, like I said, that as well as with AEGs, there's also gas blowback variants of shotguns, and those are in the higher up range of $180 all the way up to $400. My favorite model of which being is the tri-shot shell-ejecting Tokyo Marui Spas 12. That is a wonderful gun. It has an extremely flawless semi-automatic fire, and it does have a very realistic sounding pump action to it compared to the real Spas 12. It sounds almost identical. Tokyo Marui impresses us once again. So I hope this first installment of Don't Be a Noob really helped some of you newer players out, and made some of you more experienced players get a nice chuckle saying, I remember when I used to use that, what the hell was I thinking? Over the next video, on part 3, we're going to go over basic gear, and what not to do and what to definitely do, and how gear is probably the most personal thing next to your toothbrush. So until next time, this is Chris with TaskForce 247 Airsoft. Check us out with our website down in the link down here in the description, and also check out our wonderful sponsor, Fox Airsoft, located in Parker, Colorado. Have a good day.